Yeah, buddy.
What up, son?
What's going on, pal?
You know, just got done eating, so let's talk. Did you meditate?
This morning I did.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I got exercise. I just got done reading an article. This is your brain on exercise.
Probably pretty good.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
it touches on some scientific stuff, but
old school. This is your brain on drugs. This is your brain on drugs with a side order of bacon.
it's a feel good story.
What's going on, brother?
What's going on with you, man?
Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna probably start hot again.
Yeah, get it, get
Yeah.
it.
So first and foremost, congratulations to Santa Clara women's soccer team and Marshall University men's soccer team for winning the national championship yesterday. Actually, when you get this, it'll probably be a week from now. So last week, way to go. Um, you know, Marshall took out Indiana, who has won 8 national championships. Santa Clara, let me think. Santa Clara beat Florida State. So Santa Clara is recognized as one of the top programs, mid-major. I mean, they're not a mid-major; they're a major program. So, congrats to both of them on winning last night. Always good to see new blood win championships. Um, but here we go. Starting like last week, reforms in college athletics. As you know, I've been trying to get back into college athletics as a director of strength and conditioning or a strength and conditioning coach. And I had an interview last Friday. Interview was at 8:30 in the morning. Was talking to 3 individuals from the university about the job. Interview lasted about 10 to 15 minutes, trying to just get to know each other, seeing what the position was all about, stuff like that. The gentleman on the other end of the conversation, hey, we'll let you know over the weekend or on Monday about the next step in the process. I was like, cool. I mean, I thought it went well. Was cutting my grass later that morning, so about 11 o'clock, 11:30. Got a text from somebody about another position that I had applied for. Let them know that I had interviewed with this other institution about a position. And they're like, yeah, they just announced they hired for that position. I was like, what? I was like, I literally just interviewed 2.5 hours ago. Got on the website. They had already hired an individual for the job that I had just interviewed 2.5 hours ago. And the person that I had talked to still has not called or emailed me about said position.
So they had their person picked out already. They were just going through the motions and doing a due diligence.
All right, if you call that due diligent, God bless you. But I
Well,
mean, that's a horse.
for our YouTube viewers, you saw me do the quotations.
I'll say it's a sack of shit. I mean, and this is where I might burn up the whole freaking place if I get my opportunity to. The NCAA, universities, schools, they need to do a better job. Either don't put out the ad for the job and just hire whoever you want. I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. Or actually really interview 3 to 5 candidates that you might want to hire. I mean, for the position was for a prestigious men's basketball school. Has won multiple national championships. But at the same time, that's not the right way to do things. Give you a little background on this institution because the strength coaches are going to start figuring this one out. This is their 3rd strength coach in 3 years. So I wish the person who got hired nothing but the best. You went from a big school, you went from a Power 5 school to another Power 5 school. But also be careful of who you lay in bed with. Um, the universities, colleges, NCAA. I mean, stop making this a charade. If the jobs are really open, let them be open. If you already know as a coach who you want to hire, and I'm all for that because it is all about relationships, then don't even put the advertisement out or advertise in your local town paper where nobody will see it.
As a higher learning institution, what are you teaching kids? You're supposed to be teaching kids. You're teaching them corruption. I mean, and you know what? Let's play devil's advocate. Maybe we're all just corrupt. Maybe that's just the human race. Maybe there's no way around it. Maybe we're all fooling ourselves that morality is the way to go. If
Oh, I'm
that's the
not.
case, just be honest about it. Just be honest that you're corrupt.
But if one of the coaches that I've worked for and have a relationship with got a new job, and they want to hire me as their strength coach, I'm all for it. I mean, I have a lot of coaches that I have very good relationships with, and if they moved on and had the ability to hire me as their strength coach, that's just the way it works. But don't fool yourself and put an advertisement out there for this opening that's never been open. I mean, just don't do that. It's not good for the profession. It sure as hell isn't a good look for the university. Um, and you know, it's for the young strength coaches coming up in the profession. Understand making those connections with the power brokers in our profession. I mean, you gotta, unfortunately, you gotta bow down, take a knee, kiss the ring, whatever you want to say, if that's how you want to go about getting ahead in this profession. For those individuals that are in the profession, we got to do a better job. Okay. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of people saying we can't do a better job. We can't do this. We can't do that. Screw that. We can, we should, and we need to. We need to demand a seat at the table where administrators are making decisions about our profession when we are not well represented by anybody. We need to make sure that we have a voice in the athletic department because we are usually the only individuals that deal with every student athlete in the athletic department and deal with every coach on a personal and professional level. And we keep being okay with being handed scraps from the table. The hell with that. It's time for this shit to change. And if I'm going to be the voice of reason and I'm going to be the one leading the charge, so be it. Better watch out because I'm going to burn some people. And that's all there is to it. Like, start doing better for everybody that's in the profession and stop looking out for yourself. Do a better job because that's what this profession demands and that's what every student athlete deserves. That's all I got today.
That's it.
Nah, I'm sure there'll be more. Trust me. Trust me. This is not going to be a one-time topic for me. The good news, on my way home today from work, I was listening to Jay DeMayo, one of our former guests. We got done with CVAS last week or this past weekend, and he does a Monday morning rant, usually, or I'll call it a rant. It's got a different title, and he was talking about how success leaves clues. And he was talking about the strength coach at the University of Kentucky, how they had breakfast every morning with the team. And they're pretty good. University of Kentucky men's basketball, they're pretty good every year in and year out. And Jay was like, well, we've been good. And some years we've had breakfast with the team. Sometimes we've had lunch with the team. And they were good both of those times. I mean, no big significant difference. But what they did have is that the team came together for at least one meal a day. And they all ate. They all got to talk. They all got to talk and get to know each other on a personal level. I mean, it's all the coaches, it's all the players, it's everybody that's working with the basketball team, sitting down and breaking bread.
Family time.
Exactly. But at the same time, you now know that this is a more formal, a less formal situation, so you can actually see what these kids are eating. At some point they don't realize that my coach is watching me what I'm eating, so I better put this on the plate. But it gives it the coach the opportunity to have that talk about, hey, maybe you should try eating some more of this, less of that, and giving them the ability to have their guard down, both as a coach and as a player. Um, so that being said, you and I've told you this, the answer is 4. The answer is always going to be 4. Is it 2 plus 2? Is it 8 minus 4? Is it the square root of 16? Well, guess what? As we talked on one of our first podcasts this season, everybody's probably wondering what the Baylor men's basketball team does. Everybody's probably still trying to figure out what Alabama football does. Okay. Everybody also is probably trying to figure out, I forgot who won the women's basketball. Who won the women's?
Stanford.
Okay. Everybody's trying to figure out what Stanford did or does. Okay. I'll let everybody know. Alabama has a different strength coach than they did 3 years ago. Scotty Cochran left and he went to the University of Georgia to be the special teams coach. The 2 coaches that came in to the University of Alabama came from Indiana University. They were the strength coaches there. And they do a wonderful job of marrying sports science and strength and conditioning and working together as a cohesive unit. Does that mean they weren't doing a good job at Indiana? No, they were doing a great job at Indiana. Guess what Alabama has that Indiana doesn't have? Better players. But at the same time, it's like, instead of, and Jay brought a good point, stop looking at what everybody's doing and start looking at what are the commonalities between the programs. What are they doing that's similar, instead of chasing what a program does at a different school, because it might not fit what your athletes need. I had a coach. You'll love this story. I'm sorry that I'm hogging up all the time, but
nah, keep going.
I had a coach at Fairfield. They took the Nebraska football strength and conditioning program, took the cover from my summer program that I had given him, slapped the cover from the summer program that I gave him, slapped it on the Nebraska football program, and sent it out to his team. Players come back for a camp that they were working for the coach. And one of the players was like, "Coach, what's all this? What are all these different exercises? We've never done these." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, here's the manual that they sent us." I was like, "Interesting. Okay. It's not what I did. It was something different." Shout out to Nebraska football program. But at the same time, this wasn't for the football team. This was for a completely different sport. So I had a couple words with the coach. The coach, myself, and the athletic director sat down. The AD was like, "I don't see what the big deal is." I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Can I start calling plays? Can I start saying who's playing offense, who's playing defense?" Starting to give it away what sport it was, but can I decide who's running man up offense or man down defense? Now everybody should know what sport it is. And they're like, "No, that's completely different." I'm like, "How's that different from what they did to me?" So getting back to us demanding more respect for our profession, try and stay in your lanes as far as what you do, but at the same time, as far as support staff, we also have to collaborate and work together what's best for the student athletes.
That podcast we did with Jay DeMayo, I think looks like episode 20. We called it The Art of Being a Dynamic Strength Coach. And I think one of the stories that he told that triggered that title was, he had said something about, was this DeMayo or was this Baresh? I don't know, either one. But
both great strength coaches, by the way.
Yeah. But the idea was, if you have a kid that comes in and he's a great player and he's a strong athlete and he's doing something different in the weight room, maybe that's not, goes along with the curriculum that the strength coach is trying to teach. but he's not going to get hurt and it's working for him. You just adapt. Like, that's the whole idea of being dynamic.
Yep.
And then I was just thinking too, you mentioned the marriage of traditional strength and conditioning coach with exercise science and physiology. And I think we had a great conversation with MT Eisner, right, from CU.
Yep. Yep.
And she talked a lot about that. That was episode 15.
Yep. I think, I mean, for those in the profession or those trying to get in the profession, and if you're trying to fight sports science, or I'm not going to do that when I get, you're going to lose. I mean, there are more positions opening up in sports science. There are more people that are going that way. I mean, the NSCA has a new certification, the Essentials of Sports Science. So there's another certification out there through the NSCA. And what is the saying? If you're not testing it, or you're not recording the data, why are you doing it? It's a fancy little limerick kind of thing.
Yeah, it's important. And as with anything, ego tends to get in your way. But if you take a step back, what is it that you're trying to accomplish?
I got it. If you're not assessing, you're guessing.
What are you trying to accomplish? You're trying to get kids stronger. You're trying to prevent them from getting injured, and you're trying to win games. Full stop.
Okay, I might throw that in reverse. Trying to win games first. I mean, if you go 0-33, but everybody's healthy and everybody's stronger, but you don't win a game, everybody's fired. So, at the end of the day, as Bill Parcells said, you are your record. I mean, when you're 5-12, you're 5-12. I mean, you're not a good team. So that's why I always have an issue with the NFL. I mean, you're 10-6 and everybody's jumping up and down because you're in the playoffs. Okay, but you lost 6 out of 16 games. I mean, good luck, I guess. I don't know. I think as I get older in the profession, I think this more simple I'm trying to make it. Because, well, one, simple works. And all the bells and whistles, all that really does is confuse everybody. If you're asking student athletes to fill out questionnaires, put on this band, put on this strap, whatever, so you can monitor them, you better give them a reason why you're doing it, so they'll be a little more compliant to it. And if you can show them the data from when they're good and when they're bad, and when they have good performances to when they have bad performances, and hopefully the data supports both of them.
I gotta believe that's a biofeedback I just completely bludgeoned in our last talk, but that's sort of the idea of biofeedback. It's going to help them too if they're seeing those results. Whether they're overworked and it's time for more rest. They're going to be more in touch with their body.
Yeah, I think one of the big things when like polar heart rate monitors and that stuff came out, everybody looked at it as a resource to pull back the athletes. And I looked at it kind of a different way. I kind of looked at it as a way for when we could get after it instead of when should we hold the athletes back. And I brought this comment up last week during our roundtable discussions in CVASP. It was like, what sport and what team has monitored their athletes the day of games? And I don't mean during the game, because I mean, if you watch soccer, you see everybody's got a little lump in the middle of their back. They got their little GPS systems. I'm asking, how many coaches are doing like Omega Wave to see if they're, ready to perform, or, it's game day. It doesn't matter how you feel. You got to go play. Like, you got to go perform, and you got to perform at the highest level possible. It would be great if you felt fresh and ready to go, but at the same day, if you're a little tweaked, a little run down, you still got to get out on the field, on the court, in the pool, on the track, whatever it may be, and get after it and still perform at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
So
I think we talked about this with someone. Game days is something you should avoid. That should be more traditional than Getting all the gadgets involved.
Once again, if your best player plays best by eating a bacon cheeseburger and some fries
But it happened.
the day of game,
Go get it for him.
you better go find that for him. I mean, until you can have that sit down conversation of, okay, I understand this has worked for you in the past, but we're trying to get you to have a longer career, some more longevity. Maybe we try this or that. You might not want to mess with game day routines though. I mean, that's kind of like a little taboo in the sports world, especially when you are dealing with professional athletes and they don't necessarily need to be compliant. So
feeling better?
No, I still got a little angst in me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm always going to have a little.
That will never go away.
No, I mean, it's funny because I have a former athlete who just graduated from law school. I don't believe she's passed the bar yet. I think you got to pass the bar after you graduate law school. I don't know how that works, but I reached out to her about this situation just to see what the law was, what the law is regarding universities and colleges, and if there is a requirement as far as how many real interviews they need to have for open positions. So be interested to see. There might not be any. I might have just made 3 up. I mean, that could always happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if it would fall under some kind of labor laws or if nonprofit higher learning institutions are kind of under another set of rules.
Yeah, but state universities get federal money. So, I mean, it might be a little, I mean, private schools can probably do whatever they want, but at the same time, state universities, which this happened to be, might fall under different jurisdictions. So, and then I'll be very interested to see if the NCAA is required to oversee that practice. Because, if they are, I can take some of their nonprofit money and put it to good use. We'll call it, instead of the Rooney Rule for football, it'll be called the Spellman Rule for college athletics. It's got a nice ring to it.
It does. I like it a lot. Now, change subjects a little bit here.
All right.
I really admired you unconsciously or consciously, was conscious, but without any remorse whatsoever, advertising your Theragun and trying to get a sponsorship.
Hey, I'm all about it. I mean,
you inspired me. So today, I wore my new old man, Tommy Copper, compression, copper aligned, knee, and elbow sleeve.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You look like,
I'm like Bionic Man.
You look like the damn Tin Man.
Everything hurts. So I figured, I need every little bit of help I could get.
You're going to be in a friggin' like bobsled singlet soon. That'll be awesome.
So Tommy John, if you're listening, Tommy Copper, not Tommy John.
Yeah.
Tommy John. Oh, there's Theragun.
There it is.
Tommy John. That's a slip, Mike, because I was telling my wife about the Tommy Copper. She's like, "Oh, Tommy John. They sell underwear too." I'm like, "No, Tommy Copper."
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Copper. But
so
Tommy John, if you are listening, if you want to be a sponsor too, I have no problem. I'm sure Mark has no problem. We will
get in early, boy,
with nothing but your boxers on.
And if we're going at it, hey, the guys over at the Navy SEAL Foundation, I love Kill Cliff. So, I mean, I'm all up for CBD drinks too. So, hey, it works. So,
but enough of that. Our sponsor today is Copper Infused Compression.
Hey, it's got to start somewhere. So, yeah. I mean, as people see, we try and have an enjoyable time on our discussions, try and cover some things that need to get changed and better for everybody involved. And then, yuck it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We got some good guests lined up, because I know you all are probably sick and tired of hearing us to babble about whatever's going on in our minds.
I doubt it. They
I mean-
love us.
There we go. One's hot, one's cold. But you know, stay tuned. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you just want to be, if you want to be a guest, I mean, it is info@athletehackers.com.
You'll find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We've got a YouTube channel if you'd like to see our lovely faces and my copper compression.
Till next time.
We're
He
Athlete
is,
Hackers. My name's Chris Schrade.
and I am Mark Spellman. Thanks
Peace.
for joining us. All my best. God bless. Love you guys. See ya.